On the 5th of February, Pakistan pauses, not to stage a ceremony, but to renew a vow. This day is not a slogan. It is a roll call of conscience. Across our streets and valleys, banners rise, prayers travel upward, and one conviction holds steady. A people's right to exist cannot be edited out by authority. Our solidarity with Kashmir begins where our own national story begins, with the anti-colonial idea that communities are not meant to be managed as permanent subjects. Pakistan emerged from a struggle over self-determination, over the truth that identity is not a favor granted by power. That is why Kashmir is not an issue we can archive and revisit when convenient. For us, it is an existential imperative. It is the same moral grammar that shaped our creation: dignity, consent, and the refusal to accept that force can decide belonging. Since 2019, the world has watched a dangerous method take form in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Legal protections removed, administrative maps redrawn, and the door open to demographic transformation. This is not only a regional dispute, it is a test case for international norms. When political identity can be diluted through law and settlement, sovereignty becomes a costume. If a state can change the people to change the verdict, then self-determination is reduced to a museum word, preserved in speeches, denied in practice. Pakistan's warning is not theatrical. It is a signal flare for any society that believes identity can be secured by ink alone. And make no mistake, holding this line has carried a cost. Pakistan has absorbed decades of diplomatic friction, economic pressure, and strategic strain. Moments when opportunities narrowed and narratives were turned against us. We do not recite this as a complaint. We mention it as evidence. In world politics, principles are often rented out for access, softened for applause, traded for quiet. Pakistan has chosen a harder posture: to keep speaking when silence would be cheaper, and to keep standing when convenience asks us to sit. Yet solidarity is not only what states declare, it is also what they safeguard. In an age where visibility is controlled, Kashmir is asked to endure more than curfews and checkpoints. It is asked to endure disappearance. Information blockades and restricted reporting attempt to turn a living society into a footnote. That is why Pakistan's role is to amplify, to prevent Kashmiri aspirations, suffering, and culture from being overridden by official scripts. When a voice is pushed behind walls, the duty of a neighbor with a microphone is to refuse the erasure, to become a custodian of a people's story until they can speak it freely again. For Pakistanis, this bond is not manufactured by policy. It runs through our poetry like a river that remembers its source. It sits in classrooms where maps are more than diagrams. It lives in daily speech, in the way families speak of Kashmir as kin rather than a distant headline. Kashmir is woven into our national fabric as an unbreakable thread. The sense that injustice next door changes the air we breathe, and that silence would be a kind of betrayal. So today, we will not let demographic engineering replace the right to decide. We will not let fatigue become a substitute for justice. Until Kashmiris can live without surveillance, speak without fear, and choose their future without manipulation, Pakistan will continue to stand where it has always stood, on the side of consent over control. Because some struggles do not expire, they wait.